Amazingly, recently a video came out where there's a guy filming a confrontation between cops and the guy. Now, the guy filming isn't the one in trouble, and he's just filming it. And the cop shows up, and he's instantly pointing a gun at the guy with the camera. And the guy, despite being terrified for good reason, fearing for his life, because, oh, great, another chance for a piggy to shoot somebody, he has the presence of mind to suddenly get all profound, and he says, "This is just a man talking to a man. You know, forget the gun and the badge. You're pointing a gun at me, and I'm standing here not doing anything. You're a freaking coward." And he calls the cop a coward, and he's absolutely right. Oh, and he even says, "I'm not doing anything." And the cop says, "I know, just get on the ground until I know what's going on." So he's doing a death threat to somebody he knows didn't do anything wrong. He admits, "You didn't do anything wrong. I'm just going to point this gun at you until you bend to my will," and everybody grovels on the dirt, and the guy wouldn't lie down. Luckily, he didn't shoot him. And then another piggy shows up and is pointing his gun at people. They do this all the time. They're trained to do this all the time, to point guns at people. And in a way that every other gun owner I know understands, you do not do that. And they don't do that, but cops do. Why? Because cops are freaking cowards. Because they would rather endanger the life of some stranger with no justification than put themselves in harm's way to protect the innocent. They don't put themselves in harm's way. They're freaking cowards. And you can also see videos, you know, on TV, they're the first to charge into a building and save the day and rescue the innocent from the nasty people. In real life, when there's an active shooter, a lot of times you'll see cops outside hiding behind their cars. "Well, we're not going in, it's dangerous in there." And statistically, as much as they say, this is a dangerous job, and no, it isn't. Statistically, being a construction worker is way more dangerous than being a cop. Same thing with firemen and a bunch of other professions. Look it up online, see the statistics. If you judge the bravery and the nature of the job and what cops do by watching TV, yeah, you'll think they're brave and courageous and awesome people. If you judge it by what you see in the real world, you'll see they're just cowardly gang members. And sometimes that's just so damn obvious. Like in the Dorner incident that happened out in California, where an ex-cop shot some other ones and was threatening to do that, and the cops there were literally shooting at random vehicles that kind of looked like the guy's car. And in one or two cases, didn't even look like the guy's car. They were randomly shooting at people, completely careless, completely negligent, in a way that if any other gun owner did that, they would be arrested. But the cops do it because they're freaking cowards, which is why they point guns at people at the drop of a hat and shoot people at the drop of a hat. And that brings up a thing that it only occurred to me fairly recently, that you see all these videos of cops shooting people. First of all, there are a lot of them. And whether there's one down in Florida where there's a guy running away and a cop shoots him in the back. He's unarmed and he's running away and they shoot him in the back. And then there's all the things of, well, he pulled out his wallet and we thought it was a gun. And cops constantly lie under oath about what happened. I mean, I can't even count how many videos I've seen where here is their sworn statement of what happens, and then the video comes out and shows the cop totally lied his ass off. Happens constantly all over the place. But in a lot of these videos that involve cops shooting people, and I only just recently noticed the significance of this, you'll see the guy like standing there, like there's a guy with a knife in Kansas City who was like 15 feet away and staggering around. Obviously he was drugged out of his mind on something, and the cop shoots him. But what usually happens in these videos is one cop takes a shot, and half a second later, there's a barrage of shots from all the cops in the area. Now, if you ask me if there's somebody with a knife and somebody just shot him, my first response is not, I'm going to shoot him too. My response is, whoa, he got shot. That should kind of settle the situation out for now, I would think. Or somebody got shot in the back running away, and then a bunch of cops unload their guns into him. And I don't know why it took me so long to notice, this is policy. It is police policy that if your fellow cowardly gang member just shot someone for no good reason, you as a fellow pig are supposed to shoot him too. It doesn't matter if there's justification, doesn't matter if there's a threat. You shoot him too, first of all, so he dies and can't say what actually happened. And second of all, so your fellow pig doesn't get in trouble for doing what none of the people around him did and has to explain why he shot somebody when nobody else did. So they all join in like the cowardly pansies they are and gun down innocent people because they're freaking cowards. Two more things to consider. You know, there's tons of videos and stories coming out all the time now of cops shooting dogs. They show up at somebody's house. Oh, a dog barked at me. It can be a little dog like barking from 50 feet away. Oh, I shot it because I was in fear for my safety. Really? You're such a brave badass that you have to shoot a little doggy from 50 feet away because you were scared for your safety. No, it's because you're a freaking coward. And it's the same reason they're so trigger happy and are so paranoid and so quick to shoot at other people. Statistically, cops shoot the wrong person at a way higher rate than average citizens with guns shoot the wrong person because they're paranoid, trigger-happy cowards. If you're actually brave, then you take the time to make sure that you only shoot at people who you should actually shoot at. Cops don't do that. They behave like cowards. For all their weaponry and their tough gang and their ability to call in backup so lots of their other gang members can show up, they're wusses. They're scared little pansies who will shoot you at the drop of a hat because they're cowards. Now, I know what people are going to say. Well, you can't judge all police by what you see on videos. Will someone please show me a video of a cop arresting another cop who just shot an innocent person? Why aren't there any videos of that? For all the cop shooting videos there are, watch the other cops in the video. Or the videos of cops beating the crap out of somebody who isn't even fighting back and then lying about it after the fact. You know, the Rodney King thing was huge. Then Kelly Thomas, gang of complete cowards, beat a guy to death who wasn't fighting back, who was no threat. And watch all the other cops standing there like complete freaking cowards. You tell me that we have brave men and women of law enforcement when in every single one of those videos of cops beating up an innocent person or shooting an innocent person, the best you can hope for is that the other piggies stand there and watch. And usually what happens is they join in the beating or they join in the shooting because they're gang mentality cowards. They are not brave. They are not what you see on TV. They join gangs for the same reason people join the Bloods and the Crips. Because they're scared, they're insecure, they're a little psychotic, they want to have power over other people, but they're cowards, so they join together with other thugs, usually armed thugs, so they can lord power over others to make themselves feel like they're important and powerful. That is why cops become cops, and that is why there's so much evidence that they're total freaking cowards. Again, if you have evidence showing cops actually being brave, let me see it. I want to actually see evidence, or even just describe it if you witnessed it. And if you've witnessed firsthand cops being complete freaking cowards, show that too. Seeing a lot of it. I keep seeing more every stinking day because it's everywhere. And for those of you who say, oh, it's just a few bad apples, show me the good apples who are doing something about it, please. Every once in a while, there'll be a story of some cop who says, this is wrong, I'm going to speak out against it, and he gets death threats, and he gets fired, and sometimes he gets fired at. That is what happens if you're in the gang called law enforcement and you try to do the right thing, which is why they only hire cowards and control freaks. Incidentally, I know several former cops who will say, who have told me they can't stand modern cops because they're all control freak, wussy, insecurity complex, bully bastards because that's who gets hired now. You know, I know some ex-cops who say, you know, we remember when there was such a thing as a peace officer. Our goal was to like settle things down and keep the peace, not fish for reasons to beat people up and steal their money. So yeah, now, it is not coincidence that cops are cowards and beat people up and do evil stuff. Yes, the job tends to attract sociopaths, basically people who want power over others. It's just an invitation. I mean, the job description is Here, come work for us and you can boss people around and control them and take their money. You know, who do you think is going to be first in line for that job? It's the same with politicians. Boss your neighbors around and control them. Well, gee, are nice people going to even want that job? But there's a reason beyond that people need to understand, and it's addressed in my book, The Most Dangerous Superstition, which shows why whoever you start with, whether they mean well to begin with, or whether they're power happy and insecure and just waiting to hurt somebody else, sadistic bastards to begin with, whoever it is, if you convince them that they are authority and you convince them they have the right to dominate other people, they are going to be way worse than they ever would be on their own. And I can't even count how many hundreds of YouTube videos demonstrate that principle in real life and demonstrate the cowardice that comes out when you give someone a gun and a badge and you tell him, not only do you have the right to control other people, it's part of your job when you show up in any scenario to make sure everybody bows to you. Disarm everybody, make them lie on the ground, tell them where to go, tell them when they can speak, you're in charge. As soon as somebody is trained to treat other people like that, he's gonna be an asshole. Which is why, whatever they started out to begin with, although that's usually sadistic sociopaths, cops will end up being chicken shit cowards.